Burnout 2. Release year 2002. 22 vehicles, 30 total tracks, half of which are reversed. The second game in the series. First things first, this game basically looks and handles the exact same as the first game. It only took a year to develop, so no doubt it runs on the same engine with a new coat of paint, though that does not mean this is the same game by any means. There are plenty of improvements and changes to be seen throughout. Immediately you'll notice the HUD is completely different, and in a good way. I noticed things in this game that are fixed that I never thought needed fixing for the first iteration, that just add a more visually appealing experience. The timer in the center is smaller, barely even noticeable this time. In fact, you could say that about the entire experience. The timer is completely pointless. Not once did it even get close to getting near the end. I'm not sure why they didn't just remove it this time. No more on that in a second. Overall, this game just bursts with style and personality, so much more than the first. When you drive dangerously, this game wants you to know it. Big flashy text popping up to tell you that you're driving with style. And when you eventually get your boost bar filled, an exciting big text flames up in the center of your screen to let you know it's time to get fired up and feel the speed. Look at this in comparison to the little text in the bottom of the first Burnout that just kind of suggests that, oh, you can boost now if you want to. If you don't want to, it's okay. I just letting you know it's there. Whereas Burnout 2 proudly screams at you, boost okay! Let's go! In fact, this game is much more about speed, style, and boosting, much more. It is way easier to earn boosts now, and it actively encourages you to chain them, adding a little multiplier at the end of a Burnout to signify how many full boosts you've chained together. In the original Burnout, boost was somewhat of a luxury. Something to help you in a pinch. In Burnout 2, it's just handed to you. This game wants you to constantly be driving dangerous and going as fast as possible at all times. And it's incredibly fun to do, just boosting through levels and shredding the roads. Even when you use the boost, it's incredibly cooler and more satisfying. The original goes for more of a realistic approach, where everything goes quiet underneath the sound of your boost, giving you the sense that you're going so fast that the sound can't keep up. It worked and it gave you that good sense of speed. Burnout 2, however, makes you feel like a badass. You see the boost okay, you reach a straight stretch of road, then suddenly you hear... The ignition hits and the music gets louder, making you feel the style and sense of speed as you blast through the streets. It's an amazing feeling and a change I adore. Such soundtrack is much different in this game too. Once again composed by Stephen Root, it ditches the classical feel and opts for more of an electronic rock style. I love this change because once again it really suits the rockin' personality the game's adopted. Loud guitars, drums, and a light industrial distorted feeling. Fast tempos and stylish riffs to accompany you, and you suddenly hit that boost button to really make you feel the speed and intensity of the whole game. It once again really works. It's not all fun and games though. At least when it comes to the AI, because yes, the AI return with their unfair rubber banding. For those who don't know what rubber banding is in a racing game, it's essentially when you can do absolutely flawlessly and race perfectly, even chaining 6 boosts together at once with no crashes, but the AI will always keep up with you. Never more than a few seconds behind you. So just like the previous iteration, no matter how well you drive and how amazing you do, one crash can cost you the game. In fact, it's even a little worse here, considering that the game emphasizes speed and therefore you don't really have much room for error before the AI just boosts right past you. To play devil's advocate, it does add some tension to the race and always keeps it very close and tense when the AI is always right on your tail, leading to more encounters with them, as this is part of the fun. Nobody wants to be miles ahead and never deal with any opponents. Though it's not so fun when you crash near the finish and lose despite racing near flawlessly. You can see that this game has added a timer to show you how far in front or behind you are every time you pass a checkpoint. This would be great, though it only went above around 4 seconds like twice for me, since the rubber banding doesn't enable your opponents to ever fall too far behind anyway. That's not all, everyone! There are 2 new modes to take note of here. Firstly is Pursuit mode. You play as a police car and have to chase down and wreck someone before they escape within the set distance. These were very easy, but a fun break from the races. I very much enjoyed them, and I can see them being really fun when playing against friends in split screen. Then there is Crash mode, something I'm sure we were all on our knees begging for after the first game's insanely fun crashes. The crashing works the same in this game overall, though they don't add the replay cams when you crash, which I personally prefer. It's just a smooth transition into watching the wreck unfold. So naturally, they added a mode where the entire objective is to cause the biggest wreckage within a set area. These are super fun and actually have a very strategic element to them the further along you go, to which there are 30 of them on the GameCube version I played. I believe the Xbox One has about 15 more crash junctions. The crash junctions are a very fun change of pace and surprisingly challenging, whilst incredibly fun to watch. I really enjoy this edition. Of course, Championship mode returns. Race in multiple Grand Prix, do several point-to-point races, which are essentially sprint races, going from point A to B with no laps, and unlock cars through the face-offs and pursuits between each Grand Prix. It works well and it's all paced very nicely, except for one minor flaw. It suffers from getting very long-winded once again. There are plenty of races and a lot more cars to unlock this time, there being 22 different vehicles that are all completely viable and get supremely cooler as it goes along. Some are quite visibly better than others, as you can see from the stats, so it's not exactly balanced, though that's never really an issue in multiplayer, as the only thing I really noticed a difference in was the handling, so choose to your own style. Look, this one is from the box art, and this one is from the PAL box art, which is better in my opinion. Every single car is actually viable too, no buses or tow trucks in sight, thank god. Though, funnily enough, these would actually make more sense now with the crash mode, so nice one, Criterion. To go back to the Grand Prix, they can get very long-winded, much like the marathon tracks did in the previous game. They start at 3 races per Grand Prix. Okay, yeah, not bad, that's a pretty good length. By the end they finish at 6. That seems a little excessive. And yeah, you can take breaks between, but here's the kicker. To unlock face-offs and therefore more cars, you need to get gold in every single race. So if you get less than first place in even one race, you have to restart the entire Grand Prix again and do every single race again. So you could do flawlessly, get to the 6th and final race, smash it, then crash last second, lose your first place due to the severe rubber banding, then have to start all over again. It's a massive waste of time and incredibly frustrating. And then, once you finish the championship mode, you can do it all again with every track in reverse in order to unlock all the custom versions of every car. This is admittedly pretty cool and I like it. It adds more length to the game and gives some really neat versions of every car to make them look, well, cooler. There's a ton more content in this game, but it can just get a bit much at times. So overall, does Burnout 2 exceed its predecessor? At first I was unsure, though I think after playing through the whole thing and writing this script, I've pretty easily decided that Burnout 2 smashes the first one on the list. Its incredible amount of personality that it adds to the game really shines, and the massive amount of content it adds is just too vast to be overlooked. Criterion absolutely outdid themselves in creating a memorable and exciting arcade racing game that changed the history of arcade races as we know it. Though just when you think it can't get better.